Every day we move through life caught in routines and rhythms that seem natural and inevitable. We wake up, go to work, pay our bills, and repeat the cycle believing this is the way things have always been, how they must be. Yet deep inside, many of us feel it, a quiet discomfort, a nagging sense that something is not as it seems. It's as though a veil has been drawn over our eyes, keeping us from seeing the world for what it truly is. This feeling that something is wrong is not new. For centuries, philosophers, visionaries, and revolutionaries have spoken of invisible forces shaping the lives of billions. These forces go beyond governments, beyond borders, beyond what we see and understand. They control not only how we live, but how we think, shaping our beliefs, our values, and even our sense of reality itself. But who or what is behind this control? Consider this: the world we live in operates like an intricate machine, each part moving with precision, each system reinforcing the other's. Education teaches us what to think, media shows us what to believe, politics gives us the illusion of choice. These structures are so deeply ingrained in our lives that we rarely stop to question them. We assume they exist for our benefit. But what if they don't? What if they are part of a carefully designed mechanism not to liberate us, but to control us? Throughout history, there have been whispers of a hidden system, a framework built to keep humanity docile, compliant, and unaware of its true potential. Some have called it the Matrix, others describe it as a prison for the mind. Whatever the name, the purpose remains the same: to prevent us from asking the most dangerous questions of all. Who are we? Why are we here? And who or what truly governs this world? Imagine for a moment stepping outside this framework. Imagine peeling back the layers of illusion and seeing the truth, seeing the patterns, the systems, the hidden hands that shape our reality. What would you discover? How would it change the way you live, the way you think, the way you see yourself? This journey is not easy. It requires courage, curiosity, and a willingness to question everything, but the rewards are profound. To understand the world as it truly is, to see beyond the veil, is to reclaim your power. And it starts here. It starts now. Control is the nature of control. How societal systems shape our beliefs and actions. Foundation upon which society is built, not control through brute force, but something far more subtle, far more pervasive. It begins with the systems that guide our daily lives. Education molds our understanding of the world, teaching us not how to think, but what to think. Media shapes our opinions, framing events and ideas in ways that steer public perception. Religion promises salvation, but often at the cost of critical thought. And governments, they present us with choices that are no choices at all. Different faces, but the same agenda. From the moment we're born, we are surrounded by these institutions. They dictate what is acceptable, what is possible, and what is forbidden. They provide the norms we are expected to follow. For most, these systems are invisible, a seamless part of life. But for those who pause to question, the cracks begin to show. Why are certain ideas celebrated while others are ridiculed? Why are those who challenge the status quo often silenced or ignored? The answer lies in the need for control. To maintain power, those are at the top must ensure that the rest of us remain compliant, predictable, and unaware of their influence. One of the most effective methods of control is fear: fear of being wrong, fear of standing out, fear of punishment. It is fear that keeps us clinging to the familiar even when the familiar doesn't serve us. But fear is not the only tool. Another is division. By dividing humanity into categories, races, religions, political affiliations, the system ensures that we are too busy fighting one another to notice who truly holds the reins of power. These divisions may appear natural, but they are carefully engineered, reinforced by media, education, and politics. There is another layer of control, one that operates on a psychological level. It is the illusion of freedom. We are told we have free will, that our choices are our own, but how free are we really if the options presented to us are carefully curated, if our desires are shaped by advertising, if our votes change nothing? Then is it freedom at all? This illusion is perhaps the greatest trick of the system, to make us believe we are free while quietly keeping us in chains. This system of control is not maintained by a single group or individual. It operates like a web with many interconnected strands. Each institution, media, government, education, religion, acts as a thread holding the structure together. Together at the center of this web are those who benefit most, a small, powerful group that understands the importance of remaining hidden. They do not need to control every individual directly. They only need to control the systems that influence us all. And yet the system would not survive without our participation. It is we who enforce its rules, often without realizing it. Parents pass down their beliefs to their children, shaping their worldviews before they can form their own. Teachers follow curriculums that limit curiosity and critical thinking. Neighbors and colleagues police each other's behavior, ensuring conformity. This self Policing is perhaps the system's most insidious feature. It doesn't need soldiers in every home because we've been conditioned to police ourselves. But the question remains, how did this system come to be? Was it a natural evolution of human society, or was it something more deliberate? Many believe that this intricate web of control was woven with intent, its threads designed to suppress humanity's true potential over centuries. Layers of deception have been added, creating a reality that feels inescapable. But if the system was built, it can also be dismantled. At the first step in breaking free is awareness, understanding how the system works and recognizing its influence on your life. Begin by questioning what you've been taught, by seeking out perspectives that challenge the dominant narrative. It's not easy. The system is designed to make you doubt, to ridicule those who step outside its boundaries, but those who dare to question find that the world is far richer and more complex than they were led to believe. The nature of control is subtle, yet its effects are profound. It thrives on ignorance and apathy, but awareness is its greatest enemy. Once you see the strings, you can begin to cut them. Once you understand the game, you can refuse to play by its rules. The journey to freedom is not without challenges, but it is a journey worth taking, for beyond the walls of the system lies something extraordinary, a life lived on your own terms, guided not by fear, but by truth. Long before the ancient civilizations and forgotten knowledge, evidence of advanced ancient societies and their lost wisdom. Rise of modern nations. Before recorded history as we know it, there were civilizations of staggering complexity. Their ruins still stand today, scattered across the globe, silently defying the stories we've been told about human progress. How could ancient people with no advanced tools or machinery construct massive pyramids, temples, and cities with precision that even modern technology struggles to match? What knowledge did they possess, and where did it come from? Consider the Great Pyramid of Giza, a monument that has stood for thousands of years. It is aligned with incredible accuracy to the cardinal points of the compass. Its dimensions encode mathematical constants, including the value of pi. The stones used to build it, some weighing over 70 tons, were transported from quarries hundreds of miles away. How is this possible for a so-called primitive society, and why do we see similar feats of engineering in places like Machu Picchu, Stonehenge, and the ancient cities of South America? Mainstream history tells us these civilizations emerged independently, separated by time and geography, yet the similarities are undeniable. Structures built thousands of miles apart, aligned with the same star systems. Myths from different continents share strikingly similar themes: tales of gods descending from the heavens, imparting knowledge and shaping humanity's destiny. Yes, mainstream history tells us these similarities, imparting knowledge and shaping humanity's destiny. Were these merely coincidence? Yes, or do they point to a shared origin, a hidden connection that binds these ancient cultures together? Some suggest that the knowledge possessed by these ancient civilizations came from beyond our world. The stories of beings descending from the stars are not isolated. They appear in the oral traditions of the Zulu in Africa, the Aboriginal people of Australia, the Sumerians of Mesopotamia, and the Mayans of Central America. These beings were often described as powerful, otherworldly, and wise to the people of the time. They were gods, but what if they were something else entirely? Across cultures, these gods shared common traits. They brought advanced knowledge of astronomy, agriculture, and engineering. They taught humans how to build, how to organize, and how to govern. Some were depicted as humanoid, others as reptilian or serpent-like. Could these myths be more than stories? Could they be echoes of actual events describing the influence of beings whose origins we have yet to fully understand? And then there are the cataclysms, massive floods, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions recorded in nearly every ancient culture. These disasters, they say, wiped out advanced civilizations, forcing humanity to start over. The Great Flood of the Bible, the destruction of Atlantis, the sinking of Loria, different names for what might have been the same events. If these civilizations were destroyed, what knowledge was lost with them? What secrets lie buried beneath the sands and seas of our planet? Archaeological discoveries continue to challenge our understanding of the past. In South America, the natal lines stretch across the desert, massive geoglyphs, visible only from the sky. In Turkey, Gök leap, a site over 12,000 years old, predates agriculture and suggests the presence of sophisticated societies long before we believed they could exist. These findings tell us that the story of human history is far older and far stranger than we've been led to believe. But why were these ancient structures built, and for what purpose? Some theories suggest they were temples, others observatories, and still others energy generators. Could they have been built not just for human use, but for the benefit of those who helped create them? And if so, what was the ultimate goal of these collaborations? Were humans simply tools in a larger plan, Or were we being guided towards something greater? One thing is clear: the deeper we dig, the more questions arise. The ruins and artifacts left behind challenge the linear narrative of progress from primitive to advanced. Instead, they suggest cycles of civilization, periods of great knowledge, followed by cataclysm and collapse. And perhaps, just perhaps, we are part of the latest cycle, living in an age that has forgotten the lessons of those that came before. Our ancestors may have left us more than monuments. They left us clues scattered across the world, waiting to be rediscovered, clues that hint at who we are, where we come from, and what we might one day become. Throughout human history, hybrid bloodlines and ruling elites, the influence of ancient bloodlines on modern power structures. The rise and fall of empires have shaped our world, but beneath the surface, another story unfolds, a story of bloodlines. From ancient kings to modern rulers, there are those who claim a divine right to power, a lineage that sets them apart from the masses. What if these claims are more than just myths or symbols? What if hidden within these bloodlines lies a secret that ties them to something far older and far stranger than humanity itself? In ancient texts and legends, there are repeated references to beings who came from the stars, intermingling with humanity. The Sumerians spoke of the Anunnaki gods who descended from the heavens. The Bible tells of the sons of God who took human wives and fathered a hybrid race, the Nephilim. These stories, echoed in cultures across the globe, suggest a deliberate blending of human and non-human genetics emerging that created bloodlines unlike any other. These hybrid beings, Dakrib, as part divine and part human, were often placed in positions of power. They became the kings and queens of ancient civilizations, claiming their authority came from their connection to the gods. In Egypt, pharaohs were considered living gods, and Mesopotamia, rulers were intermediaries between humanity and the divine. Even today, many royal families trace their ancestry back to what they call sacred bloodlines. But what makes these bloodlines so important, and why have they been preserved so carefully? These bloodlines, it is said, were not just markers of status or privilege, they were a key to power. Ancient societies believed that the mixing of human and non-human genetics endowed these rulers with unique abilities, heightened intelligence, extraordinary longevity, and a natural authority over others. Whether these traits were real or imagined, they served to elevate these individuals above the rest of humanity, solidifying their control over entire civilizations. As time passed, these hybrid bloodlines spread into marrying and consolidating their power. They became the aristocracies of Europe, the dynasties of Asia, and the ruling families of the Middle East. Their influence extended beyond borders, shaping politics, religion, and commerce. Through careful alliances and strategic marriages, they maintained their purity, ensuring that their unique genetic heritage remained intact. But why was this so important? What were they protecting? Some believe these bloodlines are more than just a link to the past. They're a connection to an ongoing agenda. These rulers, it is said, are not merely powerful individuals. They are part of a system designed to control humanity from behind the scenes. Their influence can be seen in the creation of secret societies, institutions, and global organizations, all working toward a singular goal: the centralization of power in the hands of the few. Consider the patterns that emerge when we examine history. The same families appear again and again in positions of influence, from the ruling dynasties of ancient times to the financial empires of today. Whether through politics, banking, or media, these bloodlines have steered the course of human events. They have been the architects of revolutions, the financiers of wars, and the hidden hands behind the rise and fall all of nations. Could this be a coincidence? Or is it evidence of a deliberate and calculated plan? But the influence of these bloodlines does not stop at institutions and governments. It extends to the very way we think and perceive the world. Through religion, education, and culture, they have shaped our collective understanding of reality, instilling beliefs and values that keep us divided, distracted, and subservient. Their goal, some say, is not just power over nations, but power over the human mind itself, a control so complete that most people never even realize it exists. Yet these bloodlines are not invincible. They rely on secrecy and the cooperation of those they control. If the web they have woven were to be unraveled, their power could crumble. But to do so, we must first understand their origins and intentions. Are they merely the remnants of an ancient lineage, or are they still connected to the forces that shaped them in the first place? And if so, what is their ultimate objective? The story of hybrid bloodlines and ruling elites is more than a tale of kings and queens. It is a thread that runs through the fabric of human history, connecting us to a past we are only beginning to understand and a future that is still unwritten. In the modern-day agendas, surveillance, centralization, and the push for global control, Modern world control has taken on new forms, subtle, pervasive, and deeply ingrained in the systems that shape our daily lives. While the rulers of the past wielded power through thrones and armies, today's influence is exercised through technology, finance, and global institutions. Yet the goal remains the same: to centralize power, to consolidate control, and to ensure the masses remain unaware of who truly shapes their reality. One of the most visible manifestations of this agenda is the rise of surveillance cameras. Monitor public spaces, algorithms track online behavior, and every action, every purchase, every movement is recorded. We are told this is for our safety, to prevent crime and protect freedoms. But as technology advances, the line between protection and control becomes ever more blurred. What happens when these tools are no longer used for security, but for domination? The push for a cashless society is another step towards centralized control. Digital currencies promise convenience, but they also come with strings attached. Every transaction can be traced, monitored, and potentially restricted. Imagine a world where your financial freedom depends not on how much you have, but on how closely you adhere to the system's rules. In such a world, dissent becomes risky, not just socially, but economically. At the heart of these agendas is the idea of a global governance system, a unified authority that transcends nations, boundaries, and cultures. It is often presented as the solution to the world's greatest problems: climate change, economic instability, and international conflict. But beneath the surface lies a troubling question: who decides what is best for humanity? And can such centralized power ever truly serve the people, or does it serve those who wield it? Education and media play a critical role in this agenda. They shape our understanding of the world, framing events and issues in ways that align with the interests of those in control. Critical thinking is replaced with conformity, and narratives are carefully crafted to guide public opinion. We are encouraged to trust the experts, to follow the consensus, and to silence dissenting voices. But what if the truth lies outside the boundaries of what we are allowed to question? The manipulation extends to health and technology. Innovations like microchips and artificial intelligence are presented as breakthroughs, tools to improve our lives. Yet these advancements also carry the potential for unprecedented control. A microchip under the skin can store your medical history, but what else could it store? What happens when these technologies are used not to empower individuals, but to monitor, restrict, and dictate how we live? Every crisis presents an opportunity for control. Wars, pandemics, and economic collapses are used to justify sweeping changes that often erode freedoms. In the name of security, the pattern is clear: create a problem, incite fear, and offer a solution that centralizes power. Further, each step is presented as progress, but the destination is a world where individual freedoms are subordinate to the demands of the system. But why this relentless drive to centralize power, to monitor and control every aspect of human life? Some believe it is simply greed, a desire for wealth and influence. Others suggest it is something deeper, something rooted in the ancient past, a long-term agenda to keep humanity subservient, disconnected from its true potential, and unaware of the forces shaping its destiny. These agendas thrive on division. By keeping humanity fragmented, divided by race, religion, and ideology, the system ensures that we are too preoccupied with fighting each other to note the larger game at play. The result is a population that polices itself, enforcing the very norms that keep it imprisoned. Breaking free begins with understanding this dynamic, with seeing how these divisions are manufactured and perpetuated. Yet, despite the layers of control, there is hope. The same technology used to monitor us can also be a tool for spreading awareness. The same systems designed to suppress dissent can be disrupted, corrupted by those who dare to question. The future is not yet written, and the power to change it lies within each of us. Awareness is the first step, action is the next. The agendas we face today are vast and complex, but they are not invincible. The more we understand, the less power they hold. The more we question, the closer we come to reclaiming our freedom. And when enough of us stand together, the systems built to divide and control will crumble under the weight of their own deception. Breaking free. How to awaken, reconnect, and reclaim your sovereignty. Breaking free from the systems that bind us begins with a single realization: the prison we live in is not made of walls or chains. It is built from the beliefs we hold and the fears we carry. The first step is to recognize the nature of this illusion, to see that the norms, the rules, and the expectations imposed on us are not fixed truths, but constructs designed to control. This understanding is the foundation of liberation. Awakening to this truth is not easy. It requires courage, curiosity, and an open mind. It means questioning everything you've been taught about history, society, and even yourself. It means stepping outside the comfort of conformity and embracing the discomfort of uncertainty. But with each question asked, with each layer of illusion peeled away, the path to freedom becomes clearer. And with each step you reclaim a piece of your power. One of the most powerful tools in this journey is awareness. By understanding how the systems of control operate, you can begin to disentangle yourself from their influence. Media, education, politics, religion, they thrive on your participation, your unquestioning acceptance. But when you step back, when you see these systems for what they are, their grip begins to loosen. You stop reacting to the scripts they provide and start writing your own. Breaking free also means reconnecting with yourself, with others, and with the world around you. The systems of control thrive on division, isolation, and fear, but connection, true, authentic connection, is their antidote. When we unite in understanding, when we support one another in our shared journey, we create a force stronger than any system designed to divide us. Together, we can rediscover what it means to be human, to think freely, to live authentically, and to pursue truth fearlessly. This is not just a personal journey, it is a collective one. Each individual who chooses to awaken contributes to a greater shift. Imagine a world where millions see through the illusions, where the systems of control crumble under the weight of awareness. That world begins with you. Every question asked, every assumption challenged, every step taken toward truth creates ripples that can transform the entire fabric of society. This is what the world needs. But freedom is not simply the absence of control, it is the presence of purpose. It is living a life guided by your own values, driven by your own vision, and connected to something greater than yourself. It is a journey, not a destination, and it is one that must be taken again and again, moment by moment. To break free is to reclaim your sovereignty, not just over your actions, but over your thoughts, your beliefs, and your sense of who you truly are. The time to begin is now. The systems of control are vast, but they are not unbreakable. With awareness, courage, and unity, we can dismantle them piece by piece. And as we do, we will discover something extraordinary: the boundless potential of humanity. The boundless potential of humanity, boundless and unshackled. The journey is not just our ride, it is our destiny. Subscribe to Brave Pursuits now.